What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be installing the OEM Audio Plus dedicated amplifier. So this is going to be awesome. So if you guys already do have a OEM Audio Plus sound system, this is going to be the video for you. This is going to add some bass to your single subwoofer. It's going to be an easy install, but I'm going to go ahead and go in depth anyways. But if you guys don't know how to install the OEM Audio Plus sound system, say you guys grab this and the whole kit, make sure to watch my previous video. I'll go ahead and link it down below, but I've done an install on the whole sound system already. For today's video, we're just going to go ahead and cover the dedicated amplifier for the subwoofer. So let's go ahead and get to it and I'll show you how it's done. Alright, so really quick before we do get started, I just wanted to let you guys know, always remember, whenever working with electrical or anything like that in your vehicle, you want to go ahead and disconnect the negative of the battery. So for this Tacoma, you're going to use a size 10mm socket and just disconnect the negative. It's super simple, nothing too hard. Once you have it loosened, you just want to go ahead and remove it and put it off to the side somewhere where no one would touch it, and make sure it just doesn't pop back up. Another thing, just as a reference, just so you guys know, I do have the OEM Audio Plus, a reference 500 sound system. So which that is, it's going to be the 1-inch dome, soft dome tweeters. It's going to be the 6x9s up front. It's going to be the 6.5 two-way speakers for the rear speaker, or for the rear doors, sorry. And it's going to be the single sub and then a multi-channel amplifier. So what we're going to be installing today is this. This is basically just going to be a dedicated amplifier for my single sub. So it's just going to go ahead and add some bass. So let's go ahead and show you what's inside the box and just show you how easy this really is to install. So if you guys do have this is going to be something good to pick up. Let's go ahead and get into the video and show you exactly how it's done. So first thing you're going to want to go ahead and do, and you're going to want to go ahead and locate the multi-channel amplifier, which is located right under the driver's seat. You're going to notice there's a bolt there, and there's going to be a bolt on the opposite side. There's going to be a total of 4, which I'll show you where the other 2 are. You want to go ahead and get a wrench and get a 14mm socket. Let's go ahead and remove those and we'll go from there. Alright, so once you got the 2 front bolts, you want to go ahead and now bring your seat forward all the way. Let's go ahead and go to the back seat. I'll show you why. Alright, now that you're in the back seats, you're going to notice there's 2 plastic covers. You want to go ahead and remove that one. Remove that one. Keep in mind, this is still the driver's side. You're going to notice there's a bolt there and there's a bolt on the opposite side. Those are also 14mm sockets. Let's go ahead and remove them. First one down. Let's do the second one. Now that we removed all 4 bolts, let's go back to the front. All we need to do now is literally grab the seat, push back. Once you have the driver's seat in this position, you want to go ahead and look underneath. We're going to go ahead and locate the OEM Audio Plus multi-channel amplifier, which is this right here. We're going to go ahead and look at this line here. You want to go ahead and pull it off. If it's a little tough, you want to go ahead and get a panel removal tool and it'll help you remove that. Once you've done so, you're going to notice there's a bolt there and a bolt there. Both of those are going to be a 10mm socket. You want to go ahead and remove those, and that's pretty much all that's holding in the amplifier. Once you've done so, as you can tell, it's pretty much loose. So the only thing now holding it in place is in the back. You're not going to be able to tell, but in the back it's latched into the actual seat. So once you bring it down, I don't know if you can tell, but it's latched in right here. So you just want to kind of play with it and it pops right out just like that. So up next, we're going to go ahead and now disconnect the connections really quick. So the first thing you're going to notice is this pink thing here, or purple I should say. There's a little black piece in the back. You just want to go ahead and push it down and it'll help you release it. And there's the wire. Alright, now the amp is free. Let's go ahead and start working on the amplifier. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pay attention really quick to what comes inside the box. It's going to come with this connection here. So this is just going to be for your bass control knob, which is this here. It's also going to come with some spacers, which is this here. I'll show you where that goes. And it's going to come with these little screws here, which is going to be for the bass control knob, wherever you want to go ahead and mount it. And then it's going to come with these other 2 connections. So the main connection we're going to be using is going to be this one. It's going to be for your ground wire and your power wire. I'll show you where that goes as well. And then we are also going to be using this. This is going to help out since we are just installing it for a single subwoofer. This is pretty much what's going to send the signal, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll see what I mean once we get to it. Alright, so now looking at the amplifier that we just took out, which is the OEM Audio Plus one. This is the multi-channel. We're going to go ahead and flip this over. Alright, once we have the multi-channel amplifier flipped over like this, you're going to notice there's a hole there, right there, and right there. There's a total of 4. If you look at the dedicated amplifier, there's going to be 4 holes all around. That's when we get our spacers, and we're going to go ahead and put the spacers in each hole. So basically what these spacers do is it just helps each amplifier breathe. That way it's not metal on metal and they don't get too hot and overheat. So you want to go ahead and put the spacers just like that. Once you put the spacers on, you want to go ahead and now get the amplifier, put it over, line up the holes. We're going to get the 4 screws provided, and let's go ahead and screw it in. Alright, so once you have the spacers and the 4 little screws tied in, it's going to be with an Allen wrench to go ahead and tighten those down, just to let you guys know. You want to go ahead and tighten them. Don't over tighten. They're not that strong, but you just want to go ahead and tighten it to the point where it's not going to fall off. So go ahead and give it a little shake. If it doesn't fall, you're good. One thing I did want to mention is when you're mounting them, make sure this green one is near the multi-channel amplifier's connection like this. So you want to go ahead and make sure on that. And once you've done so, now we can go ahead and go to the vehicle, and let's go ahead and start wiring. Now that we've assembled the amplifiers together, we're going to go ahead and now bring them to the vehicle. Once you're in the vehicle, you're going to go ahead and grab the connection which came with the dedicated amplifier for the subwoofer. You want to go ahead and before connecting that, I want to go ahead and show you guys something. So if you look down here, you're going to notice there's a couple screws. So you want to go ahead and open that up really quick. So by doing so, you're going to go ahead and go to the left, and you're going to notice the silver bracket going up. So that's what you want. You want it to go all the way up, so to the left. So once you're there, you can now insert the wire. The wire we're going to be inserting is going to be right here in our actual OEM connection, which we've already installed. So this is the one that's coming from the stereo and from the battery, of course. So you're going to notice there's a wire that's kind of tucked in right here, a yellow one. You want to go ahead and pull that out. This is what we're going to focus on next. Go ahead and get a wire splitter. Alright, so once the wire is exposed like this, let's go ahead and get our green connection one more time. And focusing over here, you're going to notice where the B plus is, that's where you're going to want the yellow wire. So yellow wire is going to go in there. The yellow wire is just your power, so let's go ahead and insert it. Turning it to the right is what's going to tighten it. So you want to give it a good little tighten. Once you've done so, go ahead and tug on the wire, just to see if it's going to fall out or not. As far as for my connection, the ground wire was already there in place. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, and we'll go ahead and ground it off once we're done. Just in case yours does not come with a ground wire, it may be inside tucked in as well. So just letting you know. But as far as for mine, the ground wire already came installed. So it's there. We'll go ahead and ground it off in a bit. So let's go ahead and now connect it. So like I stated, this is going to be our power, our ground. The remote wire is not required. These, I believe, they have their own sensor, or I'm not exactly sure, but I know these turn on by themselves. So the middle one is going to stay blank. So as far as right here where it says speaker, you're going to now go ahead and grab the little connection that came with it. This is going to be for the single sub. It's going to go ahead and allow it to give signal. So let's go ahead and connect that really quick. So once it's connected, now we can go ahead and reconnect this connection here. Once it's in place, bring down the purple thing, and it snaps in. You're going to notice the little connection that we connected to the new dedicated amplifier. We're going to now go ahead and focus on that. So putting this to the side so you guys can see. So it's here. I'll focus on the harness that's coming from the truck. We're going to go ahead and disconnect these two. So once we've disconnected these two, basically what this one is, with this black connection here, this is the one that's coming from the subwoofer that I have in the back. So we're going to go ahead and now connect that to the actual amplifier. Let's go ahead and connect the two. We're going to go ahead and connect this on this side. And you're going to notice right here in this connection, that's where your, I call these phone lines because it looks like a phone line, but it's actually for your bass control knob. Connect it just like that, extend it. Connect that now. Alright, so once that's done, we're going to go ahead and remount it now. So it's going to be a simple process. So as you can tell, there's the hanger. So basically it's going to be the same install like when we first installed the multi-channel amplifier. The only wire that we're going to have left now is going to be the ground wire that I had stated, but all we're going to do is follow the one that's coming from the harness, and we're going to go ahead and just tap into it and pretty much put it there. So if you guys did not watch my first install video on the actual OEM Audio Plus, go check that video out so you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and ground this off. Everything's nicely connected. The long wire that was for the speaker for the second subwoofer is connected as well. The only wire we have not connected is this one. If you have zip ties or anything like that, you can go ahead and zip tie everything together and make it nice and clean. Let's go ahead and drop the seat down. Now that we have the seat back in, everything's bolted down, all the wire harnesses put away. All we have left now is the bass control knob. I'm gonna go ahead and mount it maybe around here. And you just want to go ahead and use the provided screws to go ahead and screw it in wherever you want. Go ahead and go to the front and finish the final step. That way we can now listen to it and enjoy it. So the final step is basically, if you guys do remember, and you guys did watch my previous video on the install, we installed the whole harness and stuff, but one of the wirings that is for the battery, we did leave it off. So we're now going to go ahead and connect that. So you want to go ahead and splice it open. And if you guys do remember, of course, the main harness is already installed, the one with the fuse. So basically, we're now going to go ahead and chop this off. We're going to go ahead and tap into that and reconnect it, and now we're good to go. All right, so now that we have everything spliced and ready to go, so once you have everything together, if you guys do have a T connection or anything like that, it would probably be a lot cleaner install than this. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it like this until I go buy some at the store. And just put plenty of tape just to make it safe. And then of course, if you did want to make it for an even cleaner install, you can always get some heat shrink. Like I said, for now I'm going to leave mine like this. Now I can go ahead and tuck this away. Go ahead and reconnect our negative of the battery. Let's go ahead and tighten that down and test it out. It's been a couple days since I've installed the dedicated amplifier. The reason I waited a couple days was that way I can really find out if I really did love the amplifier, if it was worth the money or not. So right now in a bit, I'll go ahead and hop in and pretty much play some non-copyrighted music, and I'll try to capture it for you guys on the microphone. It might not sound the same, so if you guys do ever see me in person or anything like that, make sure to stop me. That way you guys can hop in and listen to your music and see if you guys like it or not as well. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Before we do, I wanted to say a big thanks to you guys for checking out the poll that I did post on YouTube. I had asked you guys if you guys want me to do a social experiment, asking random people on the streets if they wanted to listen to my OEM Audio Plus sound system, and it's looking like I might do it. So stay tuned for that video. It should be fun. It'll be cool to get real life, you know, expressions. So let's see how that goes. I have to plan it out, and we'll see when it comes. Stay tuned for it. So now let's go ahead and hop in and see what I think. Now that I'm inside, I did want to say something. So as far as the installation, it was super simple. Seriously, it was nothing too hard. Even when I installed the actual whole OEM audio sound system, that was actually pretty simple as well. If you haven't watched part 1 of that video, go check it out. It will be in the description box below. And then another thing that I do like about this amplifier that we just installed the other day, it actually comes with the bass control knob. So it's right here. I still haven't mounted it because I'm still not sure honestly where I'm gonna put it. Cool thing about this is you can literally control the volume of the subwoofer. So you can either max it out, minimum, max, it doesn't really matter. It's to your preference, how you like it. So it's cool to be in control for some of those songs that, you know, you just don't want bass. And then there's those songs that you really want it to hit hard. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and play it now. Let's see what I found. I'm just on YouTube. I typed in, let's see what I typed in. Let's see. I just typed in no copyright hip hop music. Let's see what this is about. I'm gonna go ahead and full blast on my phone. Okay. We're on full blast on my phone now. Let's see. Max on the subwoofer volume. I'm at about 50 right now, or yeah. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so first impressions, I guess it's not really first impressions because I've already heard it, But as far as right now, off the non-copyrighted song, it was pretty cool. So something I did notice, it does hit hard. So I would highly recommend having it a little bit on the lower side, on the bass control knob. Just that way you can kind of play with it and go from there. As far as the options right here, this is how I have it. I did kind of play with it a little bit, which I can still lower the bass a little bit more, which I probably should, because I think that's a little too high. The mids, I hired them just a little bit, and then the treble, I have it all the way high up. The only reason I did that was because I did want to hear the highs up front, and then just have, you know, the bass in the back. So after you guys have installed it and everything, go ahead and play with it a little bit. Supposedly it's highly recommended to have all of these in the same spot when you guys are testing it, and then from there you can then play around with it. But in my honest opinion, I would leave maybe the treble a little on the higher side. You could leave these two in the middle, and then just go ahead and play with the bass control knob. That's basically all you really need to do, honestly. So now on to the actual honest opinion. Probably the thing that you guys have been waiting for until the end of the video, of course. And also stay tuned, because we are gonna be doing that social experiment video that I was saying. I'm gonna go ahead and go up to strangers and have them sit in the car and listen to it and get their expressions. That way we have real life people checking it out. But as far as for me, I've already listened to it for a couple days. Right now, like I stated, I had to use a non-copyrighted song, so it's not gonna get those exact tones that you want it to in a real song, but it's all good. As far as with that, that's what I'm gonna opinionize with. When it did start, it started off low, and then out of nowhere, the bass dropped, and I think I had the bass control knob a little loud. So it does sound pretty good, honestly. If you guys already have the OEM audio sound system, maybe the reference 500 like the one that I have, this honestly is a good option to go ahead and add on, or even before you have, say you haven't purchased it yet, if you want to go ahead and add it to your cart, I would recommend it, because to me, like I said, in my honest opinion, I think that's probably what's going to complement the whole sound system and just put it all together. Of course, there is one more option that you could go for. That one would be adding the second subwoofer on the opposite side. I know most of you guys don't like it because of the space, but if you guys are looking for some good bass, that could be your option. But as far as the kit that I have right now, I'm super happy with it. The only thing I could say is maybe on the highs, I did have to turn up the highs over here on the stereo. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I did have to turn it up a little bit. But that's not a big problem, honestly. I mean, it just depends on your preference, on how you like your music. But exactly the way I have my settings right now, exactly the way I have the bass control knob now installed, you know, with everything, to me, this is perfect. Like, it's good. Now I have the highs, now I have the mids, and the last thing that I was missing was the bass, and that's basically what I got when I added this dedicated amplifier for the subwoofer. If I really did want to go to the extreme, and comment down below if you guys would want to see me do it, what I'm saying is maybe purchasing the second subwoofer. That way I can have dual subs in the back, because right now it is that single one that's in the left side. But if you guys do want to see it, make sure to comment down below, and maybe I'll end up biting the bullet, and like I said, I'll end up getting the second sub. We'll see in the future. I don't know. I gotta save some money. But yeah, all in all, I like it. If you guys do want to purchase anything listed, even from my previous video on the OEM sound system, it will be in the description box below. Like I said, I like it. It looks good. It's super simple. Anybody can literally install this, honestly. Especially if you watched my video, it's step-by-step instructions. You can't mess anything up. If you guys do still have questions on it or anything like that, make sure to comment them down below. So if you guys like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.